this. What's up guys, it's Drifts and Lifts here. Alright, so today's episode, I got a decent amount of gravy for you guys. So if you watched the last episode, we took my 940 Claudio to the drift track. That car is a G80 locker mod. It had a manual boost controller and an open exhaust. The car was still stock suspension. We stripped a little bit of weight out of it so it was a little bit lighter. And the thing drifted around the track really nicely all day. It actually kept up with some fairly built drift cars, in comparison to what the 940 is. It's really stock. So we got some really good drone footage, guys. If you did see the video, you'll notice at the end we had some cool drone footage of me following my friend Clint in his D21. So my good friend Anthony Dean is actually the pilot of the drone, so shout out to Anthony for the epic footage. Also, my good friend Jordan Maynard got some really good footage on his drone as well. So shout out to those guys for the epic footage. I figured it'd be a shame if I didn't get to show you guys more of that footage because they did get a lot, and I only included a small clip in the last video. So the first part of this video is going to be us just watching the rest of the drone footage. So we got a couple minutes of really cool shots right here. Alright, so I hope you guys like that. It's really cool because it almost looks like it's a video game pretty much, right? So it's following the car, and just the angles Anthony was able to get while he was following the car almost looked like a third-person racing game. So it's really interesting to watch the 940 lean into each corner. And you guys notice when I do the Scandinavian flicks how much body roll that car has. Another interesting point is when you're drifting stock suspension, one thing that's really noticeable is that the inputs of the wheel and things that you're doing to the car from in the interior, in the driver position, is kind of delayed. So when you flick, the suspension has to bend and then the car goes and kind of reacts to what you're doing. Whereas a car with, like, you know, tight coilover suspension and that kind of thing, it's going to be a lot more tight. As soon as you apply, you know, movement to the wheel, it's going to make the car react to it. So anyways, guys, things to come for the channel. So we got a couple things on the go right now. I'm actually parting out my girlfriend Sarah's wagon right now. This was her daily driver for a while, but it just got to the point it was just too beat, so it blew an axle shaft. All the suspension is blown, all the shocks are blown on this car. It has a bent frame in the front. As you guys saw in the one video I think I did, this car's been crashed into walls many times, so this frame's up. This frame rail's up a bit as well. They've been bent back and forth a lot, so I figured, honestly guys, it was this car's time to go. So, you know, you can't keep them all. And this one's got some pretty bad rust. As you can see, battery tray, it's got a hole in, yeah, right up there. If you look under the car, it's kind of the same sort of scenario, bunch of holes and stuff like that. But anyways, guys, so we're gonna sell this, or sorry, part it actually. I took all the manual transmission stuff, so that's the pedals and the cable clutch and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to do a manual transmission swap, I have everything. I'm probably going to be selling it to my good friend Turbo Scott actually, so he can get back drifting. If you guys remember the channel back in the day, Turbo Scott is a good old friend of mine, and yeah, he kind of stopped drifting a little bit, but he's going to get back into it soon. So I'm selling him this manual swap for his 940 turbo wagon. Anyways, guys, so stuff to come for the channel. All right, so you know this whole emergency thing is going down, and us in Canada here, we get CERB. So I am entitled to CERB because it has severely affected how I go about my business and stuff, selling Volvo parts, going to the States to junkyards and stuff. I can't go over the border, so I'm entitled to CERB, and I'm getting about, you know, $6,000, maybe a little bit more actually, about $7,000. So it's only right that that money goes right into Volvo parts, and we finally make our way to building an actual fast Volvo. So I got a bit of a plan, and you know, any help from you guys, like buying merchandise and stuff like that, is much appreciated at this time, because I'm gonna have to scrounge every last dollar I can to do what I want to do on this car. So the plan is to build Ted the cigarette. So you guys know the panel wagon. And you know, with a little bit of money right now to spend, the first thing I'm gonna buy right now is a proper EMU ECU. So, you know, the core of any good Volvo build, or any build at that point, is a good ECU. So, you know, if you wanna do a lot more motor mods, big injectors, big turbo, lots of boost, all that kind of stuff, you need to be tuned on a standalone ECU. You can't get away with that stuff on the stock ECU. It's just so much subpar compared to what you can do with a standalone. So I'm buying an EMU Black from my good friend Jake. It's gonna come with all the sensors and stuff like that. So that's gonna be the initial core build part. That's gonna be kind of what the build is around. So the plan is, guys, we're gonna keep it fairly stock motor-wise. I have that squirter block from Claudio. That's gonna come out, that motor's gonna come out, it's gonna go in the wagon. I'm gonna find a big whole set turbo, so we're looking at an HX35 or an HE351, maybe even an HX40, depending on kind of our power goals. We're gonna combine that with, you know, basic motor mods. So the main part that's gonna get our power is gonna be the turbo. We're gonna do a camshaft in it, you know, maybe an intercooler and stuff like that, obviously big injectors. The plan is to run my car on E85. So Dan loves tuning on E85 because you're gonna run way more timing, way more boost without detonating. So the plan is to do E85, so I'm gonna have to get a flex fuel kit, a couple little things like a wideband to go with the ECU and that kind of thing. But you know, we're gonna start collecting parts right now, and we're gonna see how far we get until I run out of money, basically. But I'm hoping to basically get everything motor-wise and the ECU installed and tuned with kind of what I'm working with right now. I really hope I can have some left over to do a good trans setup. If any guys from Sweden are watching this and want to help me out, I know a lot of you guys do ZF transmission swaps, so you guys cut the bell housings off, weld an M47, M46 bell housing to those. So if you guys happen to have a full complete setup, I'm willing to pay, you know, $2,000 to $2,500 to get a proper transmission setup for my Volvos. I'm tired of using M46s for once, guys. They work for, you know, the budget kind of stuff that I've been doing in the past, but there's no way I'm gonna put 350 wheel horsepower through an M46 and have it last at all. It's probably gonna blow up the first time I drive down the road. So that's also gonna be another thing as far as this build. I need to sort out a tranny setup. So if you guys have advice, maybe if you've done something like that, or you have a full setup you want to sell me, maybe a T5 setup, a BMW ZF setup, or a CD009 setup. So there's a couple options I can go. Anyways, guys, so what I'm saying is we're looking at building a proper Volvo at this point. So any help is appreciated by you guys as far as, you know, merchandise sales and the Patreon if you guys want to donate to the cause, so I can get, you know, afford all these crazy expensive tuning parts. And yeah, we're gonna go from there, guys. So we're gonna get the whole set on it and the big turbo, hopefully the tranny and the ECU. Hopefully make about 350 wheel horsepower on E85. And then once we got all the, you know, the foundation kind of built as far as those parts go, then down the road we can go, say, bigger injector, and we can do like head porting, and we can do, you know, bigger cam and that kind of thing. So make the motor itself breathe a bit better and get more power that way. But yeah, guys, so I want to do this right now. I have some money in the bank, and I think now is the time. If I'm going to do it, I better do it this summer before, you know, I spend all this money on something else. So, like I said, guys, the link to the Drifts and Lifts store is in the description of this video. If you guys want to support the channel in that way, it's much appreciated. So anyways, guys, yeah, basically that's about it for the video. We're actually going to sell this car. So my girlfriend, Sarah, she's been daily driving our car named Leandre for a while, but we are going to look at a 1994 940 turbo for her. So Sarah actually wants to start drifting, and this car is an automatic non-turbo, so it's not going to be the best starting platform for her to learn how to drift in. This car is more of a just kind of drive it, enjoy it for what it is, just kind of a, you know, simple daily driver. But hopefully this 940, we're going to be able to turn up the boost and locker mod it, and you know, get Sarah sideways and kind of getting her used to, you know, drifting. And with events coming up now, she wants to eventually start hitting events up and, you know, drifting on the track and really learning the art of the Scandinavian flick. So one more thing I forgot to mention, guys, is we actually have a drift event coming up in a week from now. So just a little bit over a week. We are going to be drifting on June 3rd. I'm finally actually going to be bringing Miss Huff to the drift event and having a lot of fun with that car. So that's going to be something to look forward to. Hopefully our good friend Anthony and Jordan are going to be out there with their drones as well, and we can get some drone footage of Miss Huff. That would be really dope. But anyways, guys, for the video, that's about it. So I'll let you go. Like and subscribe for smelly Volvo paste. Peace out.